Let me present you first a key to the city of Houston.
Checking in? Please. 50 Cent doesn't even check his voicemail.
Anywhere you go, 550 buildings, use the key, the door will swing wide open.
Let alone check in with another man. When he touched down in Houston, the city expected him to bow down like a rookie at summer camp. Instead, 50 looked around, adjusted his chain, and basically said, "I am the check-in." Jay Prince's crew must have choked on their barbecue. For years, rappers played the respect the city game, a polite way of paying taxes to the street kings.
What makes him the last of Moheat?
Everybody's gone. The OG unit, man. It's like you're the
What happened to the guys?
last.
My guy.
What happened to the guys? What happened to
I'm gonna give you an example, right?
Go ahead, yeah, because this
Mike, I know Mike's been running through millions, billions since his 20s, right? He did a lot for a lot of people.
But 50? He didn't play Monopoly. He owned the board. The tension was instant. Imagine the quiet before a storm where both sides know someone's about to get drenched. 50 didn't care who built the castle, he came to flip it into a skyscraper. And that's exactly what shook Houston to its core, not his presence but his audacity. Let's call it what it is. The check-in isn't about love, it's about leverage.
75 students from Wheatley, Worthing, and Kashmir High Schools have been selected to be a part of the inaugural G-Unit Business Lab Entrepreneurial Program. The program aligns with HISD's vision.
The street's version of nice career you got there, shame if something happened to it. For decades, the system thrived under the illusion of respect. Jay Prince was the godfather of that game calm voice, sharper moves, but when 50 landed, he ripped the velvet curtain clean off. Suddenly, everyone saw the wires. This wasn't hospitality, it was the mafia with manners. 50 turned what was supposed to be a quiet handshake into a loud broadcast. Controls not respect, it's fear with better PR. And Houston hadn't seen that kind of bold disrespect since Scarface dropped his first verse. Picture this, the quiet chess-playing mogul from Houston versus the bulletproof businessman from Queens. One moves in silence, the other tweets in surround sound.
I was in there like a pirate. What's up? What's up? That's how I was. You dig? Like, hope everybody be calm, because y'all know this shit gonna go way left real quick. You dig? I'm here for what I need out this shit.
Right.
It's that crowd to hear me do balling and let me get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, so it wasn't no deep thought like this. Is like, nigga, it's an opportunity. I gotta go.
Yeah, I wasn't going there to do nothing genuine at all. Niggas couldn't even dress.
Jay Prince built his empire like a shadow government, invisible but undeniable. 50 built his by going nuclear on everyone who tried him. So when those two worlds collided, it wasn't music, it was earthquake frequencies. Houston's streets whispered warnings, but 50 treated the whole situation like an after party. His message? I don't fear kings, I replace them. You could almost hear the Wi-Fi static from the tension, one man protecting territory, the other expanding an empire. Guess who had the internet on his side? Now imagine the ultimate plot twist. 50 Cent, the man who refused to check in, ends up getting the key to Houston. You can't write irony sharper than that. While some were whispering about no-fly zones and street politics, Mayor Sylvester Turner was literally handing 50 the city's golden invitation. Cameras flashing, crowds screaming, it looked like a coronation, not a parade. 50 smiled like he'd just pulled off $1 million scam with the city's blessing. That moment wasn't just about honor, it was the final meme. They tried to ban him, now they're cheering for him. If this was chess, 50 just turned a pawn move into checkmate. When the streets whispered that Jay Prince hit 50 with a no-fly zone, 50 treated it like spam mail. Instead of ducking, he went live. Memes, jokes, trolling, it was comedy warfare. He didn't just ignore the threats, he monetized them. Instagram lit up like a Christmas tree. Every beef post was another marketing campaign for G-Unit nostalgia. Jay Prince's silence felt like a power move, but 50's noise, it became the whole soundtrack. And in the end, the no-fly zone turned into a no-care zone. 50 didn't back down, he upgraded his frequent flyer miles. 50 Cent's Houston dream was supposed to be a Hollywood ending, a $20 million film and TV studio in the South, but then, just when it was about to break ground, boom, he packed up and moved the project to Shreveport. Official reason? Better infrastructure. Real reason? Houston politics got murky. When 50 smells snakes, he doesn't stomp, he relocates the whole garden. The move was so slick it left the city blinking. Everyone realized something. You can't trap a man who builds new maps. Houston lost the studio, but 50 gained another W. It's classic 50. every obstacle becomes an opportunity. Where others see dead ends, he sees reroutes. The no-fly zone wasn't a ceiling, it was a springboard. What could have been a loss turned into a narrative of dominance. Adapt, evolve, profit. The streets, the studios, the social feeds all watched. As 50 didn't just survive the politics and power plays, he redefined the rules mid-game. Fear is static, strategy is dynamic, and 50 Cent, he's always 3 steps ahead. While old school bosses flex chains, 50 flexes charity, turkey drives, toy giveaways, scholarships to man's doing community service like it's a business strategy. And here's the twist, it works. Every time he gives, his power multiplies. He turned philanthropy into warfare. While others demand respect, 50 earns it in headlines and hearts. It's like watching Batman sponsor a STEM program. The same streets that once doubted him now chant his name. J. Prince built fear, 50 built faith, and faith always scales bigger. It's almost surgical how he operates, bro. Where fear fractures communities, generosity unites them. Where intimidation breeds compliance, giving breeds loyalty. Houston's youth, who might have once glanced at a corner king with suspicion, now see 50 as a living blueprint. Hustle smart, give back harder. His empire isn't just money and music, it's a social contract with a city that once threatened to chew him up. The optics are genius, but the effect is real. Toy drives become parades, scholarships become annual events, even casual mentions in interviews ripple like micro investments into culture. He doesn't just win the game, he expands it, turning influence into infrastructure. J. Prince had the streets, but 50 mapped the whole city, the skyline, the media, the heartbeats of its people. Fear fades, faith compounds, and in that calculus, 50 isn't just a mogul, he's a movement. When Tony Yayo stepped up to the mic, he didn't drop quotes, he dropped grenades. Check in? He laughed, that's just a street tax. His Vlad TV interview cracked the facade wide open. According to Yayo, this wasn't respect, it was rent. You pay to breathe, or you risk suffocating. He said what everyone was thinking, but too scared to post, and that's the beauty of Yayo, he's 50's unfiltered megaphone. The streets love him because he says the quiet part loud, then laughs at the echo. It wasn't just bravado, it was a lesson in survival theater. While most mouths whispered caution, Yayo hurled truth like Molotov, sometimes messy, sometimes explosive, always impossible to ignore. He framed the unspoken economics of street life in brutal, almost absurd clarity. Respect was currency, loyalty a liability, and silence often more dangerous than speech. Every laugh, every smirk carried an implicit warning, know your place or someone else will enforce it. And yet, under that chaos, there was method. Yayo's words weren't reckless, they were strategic extensions of 50's empire. He amplified the narrative that 50 didn't just play the game, he rewrote it. While others were calculating checks in alleys, Yayo made sure the world outside those alleys heard the rules loud and clear. It's one thing to survive the streets, it's another to broadcast a ledger to the masses and still come out untouchable. Here's where the story turns grim. Those dice games in Houston, they weren't just games, they were traps. The legend says, Takeoff lost his life after not checking in. Whether true or not, the whispers cut deep. Suddenly the street code looked less like respect and more like a curse. Each roll of the dice carried a shadow. 50, meanwhile, played a different game, stocks, studios, and spirits. The contrast was brutal. One man rolling dice, the other rolling out empires. Fate clearly picked a side. Houston's nights, once filled with the tension of corner deals and coded threats, that survival in the streets often comes at a price too high to measure. And yet in the same city, 50 navigated boardrooms and brand deals with surgical precision, turning potential danger into opportunity. It's a study in dual realities, one of chance, chaos, and mortality, the other of strategy, vision, and calculated risk. Where one man's misstep ended a life, the other's careful moves multiplied fortunes. The streets whispered their verdict, and the skyline answered not with bullets, but with gold bottles, flashing lights, and a narrative rewritten by those who understood how to play the long game. At the end of the movie, one man's hiding behind coded silence, and the others waving to crowds from parade floats. 50 Cent didn't just enter Houston, he absorbed it. The same city that once whispered threats now plays his theme song at public events. He didn't win by fighting, he won by evolving. J. Prince had the streets, 50 took the skyline. It's poetic, really. The man who never checked in ended up owning the city that told him to. That's not rebellion, that's revolution with a champagne label. But it didn't happen overnight. 50 didn't muscle his way in with bodyguards and bravado. He came through with business. He brought brands, investments, and culture that reshaped the city's rhythm. His liquor bottles lined the VIP tables where Houston's elite once toasted to others. He shifted the power dynamic from underground to above the skyline, from street corners to corporate suites. The same artists who once debated his presence now posed beside him, smiling through the camera flashes. There's something cinematic about it, the hustler turned mogul, rewriting the city's unwritten rules. In Houston, power used to speak in whispers and warnings. Now it speaks in billboards and bright lights. And in that transformation, 50 didn't just conquer Houston, he redefined what conquest looks like in the modern age. Less gun smoke, more gold bottles, less fear, more finesse. In the end, 50 didn't just enter Houston, he rewrote the playbook. While others fought for respect, he built influence. Where fear once ruled, strategy now reigns. The streets whisper, the skyline listens, and 50, he's already on the next move.